and a warm welcome to Mlc TV News Hour. I am Fatima Yakub. The headlines: President Buhari, AfREXIM Bank President meet in Durban over the second Intra-African Trade Fair. Kogi Governor Bello taxed National Assembly on speedy passage of Hunters Bill. And HYPPADEC decries lack of potable water in Kwara State. Now, the news in detail. President Muhammadu Buhari had a meeting with the president of AfREXIM Banks, Professor Benedict Orama, in Durban, South Africa. The special advisor, media and publicity to the president, Femi Adesina, disclosed this on his official Facebook handle. Buhari had on Saturday arrived Durban, South Africa from Paris as part of his ongoing socio-economic diplomatic missions aimed at enhancing security and economic transformation of the country. The Nigerian leader was invited to Durban by President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa to attend the inauguration of the second Intra-African Trade Fair 2021. Kogi State Governor Bello has called on the National Assembly to expedite the passage of the Hunters Bill 2020 to support government effort in effectively tackling insecurity. Bello made the appeal in Abuja when he received the Hunters Council of Nigeria, commending him for his approach to fighting insecurity and crimes in Kogi. The proposed bill, which is sponsored by Senator Abiodun Olujimi, has passed first and second readings at both chambers of the NAS. Bello noted that the bill, when passed into law, would give the Hunters Council legal teeth to combat criminal elements alongside other security agencies. The governor noted that using the hunters to combat crimes in Kogi is one of the secrets to the state's successes in tackling crimes and insecurity. Ambassador Joshua Osatimehi, the Commander General, Nigeria Hunters Council, had earlier thanked Bello for supporting and recognizing the group and for being a major promoter of the passage of the Hunters Bill. The federal government has explained that millions of graduates in the country are unemployed because they do not have specific skills required for the job market. The Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Education, Sonny Echono, who said this in Abuja, a two-day national conference on technical and vocational education and training, explained that the development has created a shortfall of the adequately skilled educated workforce, which is one of the major constraints to the growth and development of our nation. Echono said, government at all levels has been making frantic efforts to equip the youths by establishing technical colleges, polytechnics, monotechnics, vocational enterprises institutions, and innovation enterprises institutions, and model skills training centers for equipping youths and learners with technical and vocational skills through formal and non-formal channels across the state of the Federation. Speaking further at the conference, tagged Repositioning Technical and Vocational Education and Training through Policy and Legislative Options for National Development, the Permanent Secretary explained that the main focus of this conference is to develop synergy among the stakeholders of technical and vocational education and training in Nigeria, through policy and legislative options which will serve as a foundation for development, coordination, and effective implementation in Nigeria. The conference was organized by the Federal Ministry of Education in collaboration with the Skills Development for Youth Employment SKY program funded by the German Federal Ministry of Economic Development and implemented by the German Development Corporation. The Director General of Budget Office, Ben Akabweze, has lamented over 30 million Nigerians who are generating taxable incomes are not paying tax, compounding the effort of the government to broaden its revenue. Speaking at an interactive forum with the media and civil society organizations in Abuja, he also said that it is not viable for government to cut down recurrent expenditure. Akabweze said out of about 70 million active Nigerians, only about 41 million are on the tax pool. He also regretted that Nigerians do not pay property tax, while he noted that discussion around it is uncomfortable because even policymakers own properties. The Director General said in some economies far larger than Nigeria, up to 65% of their budgets are funded by property tax, saying they can't run away from the fact that Nigerians need to be paying. Akabueze noted that the federal government cannot cut down recurrent expenditure in line with calls from certain quarters, saying that taking such act will not amount to a significant reduction in the budget deficit. He said what is more viable is to fix revenues to make more money available to the government. The Management of Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Commission, HYPPADEC, has raised alarm over the prevalence of waterborne diseases like hepatitis and others in riverine areas of Kwara State. The managing director of HYPPADEC, Abubakar Yelwa, stated this in Ilorin during a meeting with members of the HYPPADEC communities. The managing director, who attributed the menace to shortage of potable water in the affected communities, promised that the commission would sink motorized and hand-pump boreholes in the communities to check the problem. He added that the organization was also collaborating with the National Directorate of Employment (NDE) to train no fewer than 980 Kwara youths in 1 year on poultry and fish farming, furniture making, among others. Abubakar said 70% of the beneficiaries will come from HYPPADEC catchment communities, 10% of the youths will be persons with disabilities, 30% for women, and the rest will be a fight for all. Within the classification of the exercise, HND and first-degree graduates must be 35% of the beneficiaries, NCE and ordinary national diploma holders take 30%, while WAEC holders and others from the informal sector will take 35%. They will not only earn a living on their own, they will perhaps be employers of labor. They hope the youth will utilize this opportunity. In his remarks, Kwara State Governor Abdurrahman Abdurazak, represented by Secretary to the State Government SSG Professor Sha'aba Jibril, said that many of the HYPPADEC communities are exposed to environmental degradation, flooding, and continue to suffer untold hardship, adding that their livelihood is solely dependent on fishing and farming, and therefore vulnerable. He commended HYPPADEC for the commitment to uplift the living standard of the people. An international company that specialized in the engineering, manufacturing, and supply of liquefied petroleum gas, liquefied natural gas, and industrial gases, and its related equipment for storage and transport, Euro, LPG, BV Holland, has indicated interest to build gas plants in Kogi State. The chairman of the company, Wahab Abdullah, disclosed this while on a visit to the governor of Kogi State, Yahya Bello. Wahab said their choice of Kogi State was largely due to the location of the state, which shares boundaries with other 10 states in Nigeria, as well as the current peace and security prevalent in the state, adding that he was confident such would boost their investment in the state, while commending the governor for guaranteeing peace and security in the state. He stated that the investment in gas plant will lead to job creation, green energy solutions, a clean environment, and wealth creation for the people of the state and Nigeria in general. On the size of the plant, Wahab said it will involve retail distribution and end consumer equipment, noting that with a full range of capabilities, the company can provide custom designed constructions for the gas industry, according to the highest quality and safety standard. The company will also establish an academic for manpower training as well as youth empowerment. In his reaction, the Kogi State Governor, Yahya Bello, disclosed that the state was viable for investors to come in, noting that insecurity, which was a clog in the wheel of industrial development of the state, was a thing of the past. He assured the delegation of his administration's total commitment and partnership with the company. He noted that the state has viable manpower. The company may require and also advocate training of the youths in plant construction and fabrication. The 14th Governing Council of the University of Jos Plateau has appointed mathematician and ICT expert Professor Tanko Ishara as the new Vice-Chancellor. Abdullahi, Deputy Registrar, Information and Publications of the University, announced this in Jos. Ishara's appointment was approved after the Council's consideration of the recommendation of the Joint Council and Senate Selection Board at its special meeting held on Friday, November 12th. Ishara, 57, is currently the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Academic of the University and a Professor of Computer Science with a mathematics background and specialism and experience in data engineering, computer security, and forensics. He obtained his BSc in Mathematics Education and graduated with a second-class upper division in 1992 at the University of Jos and began work as a lecturer in the Mathematics Department at the College of Agriculture, Zuru, Kogi State. He later proceeded to the University of Manchester, United Kingdom to pursue an MSc program in computation, which he completed in 1997. He joined the University of Hull in October 2000 as a lecturer and was head of the Center for Internet Computing at the institution before returning to Nigeria in 2008 as a visiting professor to the University of Jos on sabbatical. He has served on over 60 university committees at the University of Hull and the University of Jos, and a member of several professional bodies. Ishaya takes over from Professor Gray Ejikeme, whose terms as acting Vice Chancellor will expire on November 30th. His appointment is for a 5-year term, effective Friday 12th November. The Nigerian Army on Friday pulled out the former Chief of Policy and Plans, Army Headquarters Lamidi Adeosun, and 11 other generals out of active service. Those pulled out: MD Abubakar, I. Birigeni, CM Abraham, ACC Agundu, TOB Ademola, AM Jalingo, and AS Meikobi, all Major Generals. MA Bashiruddin, DM Onoyeveta, both Brigadier Generals, and 2 others were also pulled out. The pulling out parade was among activities at the ongoing Infantry Corps Annual Leadership Lectures and Biennial Reunion at the Infantry Corps Center in Jaji, Military Cantonment, Kaduna State. The theme of the 4-day event is positioning Nigeria Army Infantry Corps to win all land battles in a joint environment. Adeosun, a Major General who spoke on behalf of the retired generals, said the pulling out parade was part of military tradition. Adeosun urged all their successors to sustain the good legacies and continue to build on their achievements. He also urged the officers who are still serving not to relent on their oars, noting that the Army has for long kept a good name and image. He thanked the leadership of the country for the opportunity and support given to them to serve in different capacities in the country. He also thanked the Chief of Army Staff, Farouk Yahya, a Lieutenant General, and the Commander Infantry Corps, Victor Ezogu, a Major General, for the opportunity of a rewarding and fulfilling life experience. Police in Katsina State have arrested the duo of 33-year-old Aminu Ibrahim and 28-year-old Abdulaziz Sani with 510 liters of petrol concealed in 20 polythene bags suspected to be supplies for bandits in the forest. Police spokesman Superintendent Gambo Isa, while parading the suspects, also said the command recovered the trailer loads of logs, also suspected to be supplies for bandits. The items were being conveyed in the boot of a car heading for the forest when they were intercepted by security along Magama-Jibia Road. One of the suspects, Aminu Ibrahim, denied taking the petrol to bandits, explaining that some of the items were for resale, while others were for personal use. In a similar development, a trailer load of log of woods were intercepted by the police Safer Highway Patrol along Fontua Zaria Road, which Superintendent Issa said was contravening the security challenges containment order. 12 dock workers have been arrested by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency over their involvement in the 9.5 billion naira cocaine seized at the Lagos port. NDLEA spokesperson Femi Babafemi said investigations shows that the dock workers have significant links to the importation of the seized illicit cocaine weighing 32.9 kilograms. The anti-narcotic agency had on October 13th intercepted the ship MV Chayeni Nari at the Apapa seaport following intelligence from international partners and support from other security forces such as the Nigerian Navy, Customs, DSS, and the police. A thorough search of the ship led to the recovery of 30 parcels containing cocaine, which weigh 32.9 kilograms. A federal high court in Lagos later granted an application by the agency for the interim attachment of the vessel, MV Chayani Nari. Besides the attachment order, the court also granted NDLEA's request to detain the master of the ship, Tanahan, Kerlek, and 21 foreign crew members, as well as the dock workers arrested in connection to the case. The NDLEA, in a statement at the weekend, said its clarification became necessary following claims by the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria that some of its members are being detained unlawfully by the agency. Of the total number of 18 dock workers initially being interviewed by operatives, 6 of them with no sufficient evidence linking them to the crime had been released, while 12 others are cooperating with ongoing investigation. The agency also revealed that in line with the intelligence available to it, it was discovered that syndicate of dock workers, crew members with apparent international conspirators work in synergy to traffic illicit substances, while the substances are concealed in the shipment from the originating part. The dock workers assist to pick up the illicit consignment for onward delivery to the Nigerian drug barons. Babafemi said the agency's action in the detention of the dock workers are guided by international best practices and in line with the Global Maritime Standard Operational Procedure on arrest, seizure and detention of vessels and crew members. This is Mlc TV News. More stories to come after the break.
Mlc TV Online is here. For your timely and reliable news that reaches you fast with the breaking news, choose Mlc TV. Get human interest stories right here on Mlc TV with entertainment, sports, business, culture, tourism, and fashion news stories all featured on Mlc TV. Not forgetting political and current affairs news, state and federal government and people's matters will be discussed regularly on Mlc TV. Mlc TV, your one-stop online destination for unbiased, accurate news, entrepreneur ideas, and youth matters to the rest of the world. MLC TV, reaching everywhere, informing everyone.
Welcome back. Libyan machineries are believed to have joined forces with insurgents of the Islamic State of West African Province, ISWAP, in the northeast as the terrorists seek to recover lost grounds. The insurgents struck afresh in Askira, Bello State, yesterday, killing a brigadier general and 3 of his soldiers. The attack came 24 hours after military airstrikes took out several top commanders of ISWAP, while they were allegedly holding a strategic meeting with their new leader, Sani Shiwaram, at Sabon Tubun and Jibularam in Mati local government area of the state. The fate of Sani Shiwaram following the airstrike could not be immediately ascertained. The army named the general as Dasma Zirkusu, who until his death was the commander 28 task force in Chibok. The 3 soldiers killed with him were not named. They were on their way to Askira Oba from Chibok when they ran into an ambush led by ISWAP. A top source said intelligence report indicated that some Libya-based machineries were among the ISWAP fighters in the northeast corridor. The source said the bodies of the fallen soldiers had been evacuated to Maiduguri. The director of Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Onyema Nwachukwu, confirmed the death of the army officer and his men yesterday. He said troops of Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hadinkai have neutralized several Islamic State West African Province ISWAP terrorists during a recent encounter in Askira Oba local government area of Bello State. In a fierce encounter, which is still raging at the time of filing this report. Troops supported by the air component of OPHK have deployed a 5A jet, 2A-29, 2 Dragon Combat with which they destroyed 9 gun trucks and 1 APC. On the early hours of Monday, 15th November, a truck conveying industrial rock collided with a delivery truck at Army Signal Phase 2 along Okene Kaba Road, Lokoja, Kogi State. According to eyewitnesses at the scene of the accident, the trailer carrying industrial rocks experienced brake failure and collided with the beverage delivery truck from behind, trapping the driver and 2 others in the vehicle.
It's a slopey ground if you are coming down here. But before he could hold up, maybe unknowing to him, thinking what the driver wanted doing, then he now bumped into the driver through the back.
I think his brake has an issue. So by him now coming down, this one want to enter, so the commotion now happened. So when the commotion happened, so we are trying to move. You can see this other place was stuck. We are trying to to make sure that this truck actually moved, but it was impossible for this truck to move. If this one tried to move, the other man inside there, as in, is affecting him. There are actually 4 people inside the truck. Actually, one escaped when the accident wanted to happen. So there were 3 inside, the main driver and 2 other kids. You can see those 2 kids are, by the grace of God, you can see that we have tried to remove them. Only the driver that is remaining now. So I think that the government needs to try and bring out something that if this kind of accident happen, so that we can have like a truck that will raise this kind of trailers, so that these things will not happen. Assuming that this man did not have that kind of a long lifespan, this man could have been dead by now.
The Kogi State Commander of Federal Road Safety Corps, Solomon Agure, described the incident as tragic. He called on the state government to adapt his proposal of restricting the movement of big trucks within the metropolis between the hours of 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. to avert such tragic events. The commander also admonished commuters to be careful while on the road, considering the road congestion as we approach the festive period.
During the festive period, I propose that during this time, trucks should not be passing inside the town during the morning and the daytime. They should be passing from maybe 7 or 8 p.m. When it is 6 a.m., they should stop them from passing here. They can be passing from Felele, that is Zariagi, Felele to Abuja, but inside the town, they should restrict their movement until 6 p.m. What you are seeing here is just one of those things. In the morning, when people are moving, this truck that carried Martina is going. The other one that is carrying stones, I hope on a slope he could not match brake. The brake fell and he ran into the back of the vehicle carrying the Martina. Assuming it is a light vehicle, maybe buses that are carrying children to school, or maybe buses that are carrying people to various destinations in this country, what would have happened? Okay, we would have been recording more than 13 people now. We would have been recording much people now. So my advice is this: the state government should make sure that they adopt the proposal that I've made by restricting movement of heavy-duty vehicle from the hours of 6 a.m. to maybe 7 p.m.
Agri also advocate for the need of industrial area within the capital where most warehouses and stores can be relocated to.
The Islamic company are located off the distance. But my own advice is that state governments too should, if there are such industry in the town, they should move them out of the town. They should have an industrial area where it is less busy for such vehicle to be passing in the town. They should move them to an industrial area.
No death was recorded. The driver, his child, and the conductor were taken to nearby hospitals for immediate treatment. Now, the foreign news. Some Nigerians in diaspora have called on the federal government of Nigeria and President Muhammadu Buhari to help them in securing their Nigerian passport. The Nigerians in Diaspora Network, NDN, Germany chapter made the appeal at a rally in Oberhausen, Germany. The chairman, NDN, Victor Ojebulu, said that if things didn't change, it will be a problem for them and might lead to their deportation. He stated that obtaining a Nigerian passport had become quite difficult because when they got to the embassies, they would be told that booklets were not available. Ojebulu asked the president to look into their situation and help them with the provision of Nigerian passports. He said he wanted to let him know the predicament in which the people are going through in Germany. For some months, they have not been able to obtain their Nigerian passport, and a lot are going through hell. Those working need to renew their passport for them to continue to work. He said it's very sad, and as a mouthpiece of the people, they felt they have to make an appeal to the federal government. The United States Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, will visit Kenya, Nigeria, and Senegal from November 15th to 20th, underscoring the depth and breadth of the U.S. relationship between African Petniwi. During the visit, the Secretary will advance U.S.-Africa collaboration on shared global priorities, including ending the COVID-19 pandemic and building back to a more inclusive global economy, combating the climate crisis, revitalizing democracies, and advancing peace and security. According to a statement from the U.S. Embassy, Abuja, Secretary Blinken's travel to Kenya, Nigeria, and Senegal would begin his trip in Nairobi, where he will meet with Kenya President Uhuru Kenyatta and the Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Rachel Omamo. The Secretary and representatives of the Kenyan government will discuss their shared interests as members of the United Nations Security Council, including addressing regional security issues such as Ethiopia, Somalia, and Sudan. Blinken will then travel to Abuja, where he will meet with the President, Muhammadu Buhari, Vice President Yemi Osibanjo, and Foreign Affairs Minister Geoffrey Oyama. They are expected to discuss furthering cooperation on global health, security, expanding energy access and economic growth, and revitalizing democracy. The embassy explained that the Secretary would deliver a speech on U.S.-Africa policy in the capital of Africa's largest democracy and also engage with Nigerian entrepreneurs in the digital sector. The Secretary will conclude his trip in Dakar, where he will meet with President Macky Sall and Foreign Minister Aissata Tall Sall to reaffirm the close partnership between our two countries. The African Development Bank Group says about 29 million Africans, especially in sub-Saharan Africa, are expected to suffer extreme poverty due to the impact of COVID-19 pandemic. The bank said studies had shown that COVID-19 had tested the economic capacities of the countries and the situation was particularly problematic for most ECOWAS countries. Akinwumi Adesina, president of the AFDB, disclosed this in Abuja at the 22nd Ordinary Session of Assembly of Health Ministers of ECOWAS. Adesina, represented by Beth Dumford, AFDB's Vice President for Agriculture, Human and Social Development, said the event was expected to provide the ministers an objective economic assessment that stressed the need for renewed effort towards ending the pandemic for economic recovery. He noted that the session came at a challenging time of the COVID-19 era and also a window of tremendous opportunity of collaboration to improve the sub-region's healthcare infrastructure. According to him, in spite of the noticeable progress in health status, Africa still bore 24% of the global disease burden, although the continent is host to only about 15% of the world's population. He added that infectious and parasitic diseases were responsible for 60% of deaths worldwide, noting that most of these deaths were preventable and occurred in Africa. The AFDB president said that Africa's burden of disease was projected to increase by 28% this decade as epidemic outbreaks such as Ebola became more frequent. The ordinary session of West African Health Organization, WAHO, is an annual meeting of the subcontinent's 15 member states to brainstorm on health-related issues in the region and find possible solutions. And on sports today, we join Jonah Malik.
Welcome to Sports Updates. The Blue Sharks of Cape Verde have arrived Lagos ahead of their Tuesday's 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifying clash against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. According to a message posted on the Cape Verde Football Federation Instagram page, the players and their officials flew into Lagos on Sunday night. They will train at the venue of the game, Teslim Balogun Stadium, Lagos, on Monday morning. The Blue Shark defeated Central African Republic by 2-1 at home on Saturday to set up a tantalizing final day clash with the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Meanwhile, the Nigerian team also defeated Liberia by 2-0 on Saturday in Morocco. The Super Eagles also flew in on Sunday. Nigeria top Group C on 12 points, 2 points more than the Blue Sharks. The Blue Sharks need a win to advance to the playoff round of the qualifiers, while the Super Eagles need a draw. That's Sports Update on Mlc TV. I am Malik Jonah.
Thank you, Jonah, for the update. And now, on entertainment, we join Matthias Ayodeji.
On our entertainment news today, Olu Jacobs has received a Lifetime Achievement Award at the just concluded Africa International Film Festival. The legendary movie star surprised fans on Saturday, November 13th, as he stepped out with wife Joke Silva to receive the honorary award at the festival's closing ceremony. He also took to his Instagram handle to share photos from the event. Veteran actor Richard Mofeda Major also took to social media to shower the legendary actor with accolades, celebrating his latest win. Congratulations to my very own Uncle J at Olu Jacobs, a well-deserved Lifetime Achievement Award. Because of you, I am. Pathfinder you are. I celebrate you and your family this morning. It is my good fortune that I can call you and my baby sister Ajoke Silva family. Thank you for ever being so gracious to me. Like my people will say, my knees are on the ground for you. It is well with you. Jacob's AfREXIM attendance will be the first time the actor is making a public appearance after news of his death made headlines a few months back. With well over 3 decades in the film industry, Jacobs is one of Nigeria's most revered film icons with AMA, AMVC and AfREXIM recognitions. Still on entertainment news, Pero Adeniyi, one of music icons Two-Face Idibia's baby mamas, have filed a suit against his wife Annie Idibia. In the suit, which was filed on Wednesday, November 10, 2021, Pero made reference to Annie's Instagram outburst and the audio tape which went viral weeks ago. In the tapes, Annie alleged that her husband Tubaba packed his bags and came to America to see her, Pero, and his other kids. Annie was further accused of engaging in malicious and libelous online publication, which subjected Pero and her kids to online harassment and bullying. In September, the actress called out her husband over his suspicious relationship with Pero. She also accused his family of not loving and caring about her since their marriage. A few weeks later, a leaked audio taping of the movie star surfaced where she threatened fire and brimstone. Two-Face later released a statement asking the public to back off his marital issues. And that is all on entertainment news today. My name is Matthias Ayodeji Peter, reporting for Mlc TV. Back to our caster for more stories.
Thank you, Matthias, for the update. Kogi State Governor Bello has expressed sadness over the unfortunate death of Vanguard reporter Henry Todue Salem, who has been missing since October 13th. The body of Todue, who has been missing since the night of October 13th, was found at a morgue in Wuse General Hospital on Thursday. The governor, in a statement issued by his chief press secretary, Onogu Mohammed, commiserated with the family of the late journalist, the Nigerian Union of Journalists, and the House of Representatives press corps over the sad loss. The governor, while expressing concerns over the circumstances surrounding the death of the Vanguard reporter, called on the security agencies, especially the police, to launch further full-scale investigation into the unfortunate incident. He said Nigerian journalists deserve adequate protection in view of the important role they play in informing the public, as well as holding the government accountable to the people. He prayed God to grant the deceased eternal rest and fortitude for the family and the NUJ family to bear the sad loss. The governor urged the security agencies to intensify efforts in providing adequate security for citizens of the country. That is today's news package. Do join us tomorrow via the same platform. For your event coverage for news, sponsorship and advert placement, call the numbers displayed on your screen or visit any of our social media handles to drop your comment for us. Like our Facebook page, Mlc TV, Instagram, Mlc TV 2021. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Mlc Tv. I am Fatima Yakub. Thank you for staying with us.